What's up, you guys? It's Levi here. I'm in my first video off of LASIK and I'm doing amazing, other than the dry eyes that I have and these big red blood spots in my eyes that you probably can't see. But supposedly those are going to go away and my dryness is getting better each and every day. And pretty soon I will be good as gold. But the good thing is I'm here and I'm able to put out videos for you, and these lights aren't driving me crazy like they were a week ago. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking to you about vishing. And today I will be specifically talking about what is vishing and what are some examples of vishing. I have an example of vishing that specifically happened to me a few months ago that I'll be sharing later in the video for you guys. And then finally, I'll be talking about what you guys can do to help protect yourselves from getting vished, so that you don't become like Mr. Elon here, Elon Muskie, and get caught and vished. I hope by watching this video, you all can arm, okay, maybe that's not a great joke. You all can arm yourselves with more tools to be able to fight off the hackers, or what we like to call the pirates, ARG, on this channel, to reduce your risk at being involved in a cyber attack. Alright, so before we get started, if you like this content, make sure you're checking the affiliate links out down below in the description to help support this channel, and make sure that you're smashing that like button and hitting the subscribe button so that more people can see this content on this channel, as those actions promote this video out to more people on YouTube, and that allows more people to be able to protect themselves from the cybersecurity threats in the world and fight off those darn pirates. Alright, so what is vishing? Alright, so let's take a look at the official definition, and this comes from Microsoft Bing! Alright, don't judge me, guys. I know I might get some comments. Levi, why are you using Microsoft Bing? And I promise I don't use Bing all the time. I just got really lazy and my default search engine is Bing, and I just use my default search engine. I didn't use Google this time, but I do use Google most of the time, just not this time. Alright, so here's the official definition of vishing from Bing. The fraudulent practice of making phone calls or leaving voice messages purporting to be from reputable companies in order to induce individuals to reveal personal information such as bank details and credit card numbers. And then down below it has in quotations, many victims of vishing are people who are not tech savvy. Alright, so the bottom line says that many individuals are not tech savvy that fall for vishing. That's part of the reason why I'm putting this video out there, for those of you that aren't tech savvy. But for those of you that are tech savvy, you can still learn techniques from this, because people don't know everything, right? No matter how tech savvy you are, there's always something to learn. Alright, so in normal terms now, instead of Bing terms, basically phishing is involving the use of talking on your phone, or it's involving voice messages. For those of you that know what phishing is, it's basically the voice version of phishing, hence the V in front of it. If you're not sure what phishing with a PH is, I have a video on that. Check it out down below in the description. Alright, so these vishing scams, also known as phone scams, involve calling you and trying to trick you to give out information that could harm yourselves or your organization that you're working for. For the average person, the pirates out there are trying to get this information so that they can make moolah, money, off of you. Your credit card info, your banking info, your social security info, all the information that can be used to take money from you or create accounts to take money from you. If you work for an organization and a pirate calls the organization and does a vishing scam, they're going to try to get information about you and your organization to make it easier for the pirate in order to hack into that organization and steal the organization's precious assets and then be able to sell those things off. Also, like in my example that I'll be talking about, they can try to get you to call back a number and charge you a boatload of money for calling that number. So let's get into that story now that happened to me. So a few months ago, as of the recording of this video, in late November of 2020, I started getting all of these phone calls from random numbers all the time, like literally every 20 minutes. And it was absolutely driving me crazy. Every call, I had a voicemail, and they all sounded exactly the same. Here's a clip of what those voicemails sounded like. Alright, and it's funny because the transcription of the text that I can see on my voicemail when it's printed out, it shows, yeah, it sounded like I said that. And I'm like, if you listen to that over again, if you rewind here, it does kind of sound like that, but then it also sounds like just a bunch of gibberish. I'm assuming that it's something in a foreign language of wherever this person is calling from. If you know what it means though, comment down below. I'd be curious to see what it actually means. If you know the language that they're talking, comment down below. Or just comment what you think it means, even if you don't know what it means. I'm curious to see what you guys think. The more I listen to it, the more it sounds like you guys should smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. That's what I think it's starting to sound like, right? So if you haven't already done that, make sure that you're smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. So as you can see, I'm getting a ton of these calls. This went on for a week solidly, calling every 20 minutes and leaving a voicemail. I wasn't sure what the goal of this scam was at the time this was happening. But obviously, I found it odd how often this was happening and that these voicemails just seemed like gibberish to me. So I did a Google search, and yes, I do use Google, guys. And I started searching the area code because I had never heard of that area code before. The first result that came up was from the website makeuseof.com, and the article was titled the following: everything you need to know about the 473 phone scam. I'll post a link in the description down below for you guys to check it out if you want to check it out. So anyway, I smashed that link to that article, and I was surprised to learn the phone numbers that I were getting were not American phone numbers. They were international phone numbers, despite the fact they looked like an American phone number. In fact, all the numbers that look like they're American but are international are listed here for your convenience in case you ever run into this. As you can see here, all of these numbers can be used for this scam because they look like American phone numbers. So keep in mind, every time you get a phone call from one of these prefixes, it's probably a scam. Alright, so the goal of this scam is to frustrate someone like me by calling somebody over and over and over. Most of the time people aren't going to answer, so they're going to leave a voicemail. Then the person is going to get frustrated from all these voicemails and calls, and they're going to call the person back to rip them out because they want them to stop calling and stop leaving voicemails. Well, if you end up doing that, that's going to be a very expensive mistake because it can cost up to $20 a minute to call some of these phone numbers. So how do you protect yourselves from falling for this vishing scam, also known as phone scam? Do not call people back that you do not know, no matter how annoying they are. block them like I did. I couldn't just block them using a straight up phone number because they use different numbers for each and every single call that they made. I ended up finding the solution in my situation was to block international numbers, since these calls were international numbers. So instead of my phone picking these up, they would just go straight to voicemail. I turned off my voicemail notifications for a while, and boom, the problem was solved for me. I didn't have to think or see any of their stupid phone calls anymore. The unfortunate thing is, if somebody called me and left a voicemail, I might not have saw their voicemail, but I always tried to check my voicemail if I got a phone call from somebody that I knew. Anyway, this happened for about 2 weeks, and I looked into my voicemails and they stopped about 2 weeks later. I'm guessing that they probably just moved on to the next target because they got upset because I didn't react to their vishing scam. One of the things I tried doing before I blocked international phone calls is I just tried ramping up the spam call settings on my voice plan, but that didn't seem to work. It was still allowing those calls through. I'm not sure why. Had I totally got annoyed with the phone calls, I could have probably set up an app to manage those phone calls and block those phone calls, but it wasn't annoying to me because I just turned off international calling to get blocked, and boom, that solved the problem for me. That's a route that you guys could take if you had this situation happen. I don't have any third-party apps that I would recommend doing that, but if you're an AT&T or Verizon customer, I know that they have a paid version of that app, so you can try using that to block your phone calls. There is a free version as well for Verizon, and I tried using that and it didn't work worth a crap, so that's why I had to end up going and blocking international calls. But I think the cost of those Verizon, AT&T paid apps that are a lot better cost like $3 to $5 a month or something like that. So if you're really desperate, you can try those options. Otherwise, you can try third-party applications that you can download in the iOS and Android stores. Just be very, very careful on what you're downloading for those, because they can see your phone calls, and you don't want just any random Joe Blow to be able to look at your phone calls. So make sure you vet those applications before you're using them and that you trust them. I don't have any specific recommendations on those though. Alright, so that's my experience with vishing, and luckily I did not become bait like Mr. Elon Muskie here. Alright, so closing out this video, I want to share some examples of actions that you can take to protect yourselves from getting involved in a vishing scam and becoming Mr. Elon Muskie and falling for that phishing scam. Alright, so in closing this video, I want to share some examples of actions that you can be taking to help protect yourselves from being scammed in a vishing scam. Alright, number one, be careful who you trust. Realize that any pirate that's smart enough can take any phone number and copy it and pretend to be that phone number, also known as spoofing. So a pirate could call you and pretend to be someone else that you know, and the phone number might show up right on your phone as the correct number for that person that's calling you. But then the request that they're making sounds really odd and sounds unnormal. In those situations, you should have red flags going in your head, and don't give that information out until you can verify that the person on the other side is who you think they are and who they say they are. Number two, don't call numbers back that you're receiving voicemail on from unexpected requests or people. So, like in my incident, if you're getting a bunch of voicemails, or even if you're just getting one voicemail, I guess, and you don't recognize the number and you don't recognize what they're asking for, do not call that person back unless you want to get charged a bunch of moolah. 20 bucks a minute or potentially more. Just don't call them back. And the same thing with random people that seem like they have legitimate requests. If you don't know the person, you might not want to call them back either. because it could be a vishing scam. If you do call them back, just be extra cautious of the information that you're giving out and verify that you're not calling an international number that's going to charge you a boatload of money. Try doing a Google search on the number or looking up that list that I just sent you. Alright, number 3, be suspicious of unsolicited calls asking for personal information. If you have someone calling you asking for your social security number, your bank account, your credit card number, information like that, absolutely do not give out that information if you're not expecting somebody to call asking for that information. And even if you are expecting someone to call you requesting that information from you, you might be better to just hang up and then call back the number that you know for that person to verify that the person that's calling you is actually who they say they are. Because you wouldn't want some scammer to pretend to be somebody and then find out later on that you accidentally gave that information out to the scammer or the pirate and not the organization that you thought you were working with. Alright, number 4, the same thing applies to organizations that you're working for. So if an unsolicited caller calls you while you're at work, you want to be careful about the type of information that you're giving out to that caller. Because if someone is trying to vish you, they're going to want to gather information about your organization so that they can hack that organization. So if they're questioning about the structure of your organization, what type of people are in your organization and what roles they have, or the network of your organization and how things work in your organization, you should definitely question that call. And do not give out information about your organization unless you can verify that caller has authority in order to be able to request that information in the first place. You might have to talk to a supervisor or something like that to verify that that person has the authority to be able to ask that information. Number 5, setting up 2FA, also known as two-factor authentication. I have this on my top 5 cybersecurity actions that you should be taking in 2021, and this is important for everything, not just vishing, but everything. The thing is, in vishing anyway, if you accidentally give out information about yourself that could help a pirate figure out your password, if you have two-factor authentication turned on, the pirate will not be able to get in your account just with the password. They will have to break that two-factor authentication as well. I have a video down below in the description that explains more about what two-factor authentication is if you want to check that out and learn more. But you want to have this turned on for each and every single account that you have on the internet, because it makes it much harder for the pirates to be able to break into your account. And then finally, number 6, watch out for unknown callers that are trying to create an emotional reaction from you in order to get you to take an action and give out information that you normally would not give out to the pirates, or the caller, I guess. Because the emotional reactions are the easiest way for people to give out information and not even realize it, because they're all caught up in their emotions. So if something seems too good to be true, like you won the lottery, you won all this money, or you're being threatened and you're going to get fired or go to jail or something like that, you really need to take a step back and think about the situation, hang up on the person, and verify that the person is actually legit before you're taking any action. For instance, if someone is calling and they're pretending to be your credit card company and they're demanding that you have not made a payment in the last few months, they haven't received payment, and they're going to shut down your account and take you to court for not making that payment. If you do not give them the money now, they want your bank account number right now, and they're threatening you, do not give out your bank account number to the credit card company. What you should do in that situation, hang up on them, go look up the credit card company's phone number on the back of your credit card and call the credit card company and verify that you are actually in trouble for not making a payment. 99% of the time, they're probably going to say that was a vishing scam, right? Usually they're not going to call you and threaten you like that, right? Had you gave out that bank account information, you would have gave that information out to the pirate so that they can hack into your account and steal all of your money. Alright, so I hope you guys found this video useful and entertaining. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, if you like this content, make sure to check out the affiliate links down below in the description, especially the Amazon affiliate links. If you click on any of those links down there and make a purchase after clicking on those within 24 hours, it doesn't have to be any of those items listed. I will get a commission off anything that you guys buy after clicking that link the next day after you click that link. And if you decide to buy more things later on, all my recent videos and future videos will have links below in the description, and you can go back and click on those again and buy stuff again, and I will get a commission. Also, make sure, if you haven't already, that you're smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and hitting that notification bell, as this gets more people to this channel, and so more people can be able to help protect themselves from the cybersecurity threats in the world. I thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.